Hi guys, Tim here doing another military history video for you today, and this time will be on the history of the Peterloo massacre in 1819. Now, the Peterloo massacre, well, the massacre itself really was a very defining moment in military history in general. And now, it happened in St Peter's Field in Manchester, where the government had reformed. There was a lot of men on strike, well, civilians on strike because of the government, reforming and the loss of money and high unemployment, mainly on the poor. So what happened is fellow, this was mainly in the north of England, fellow Manchester, can't remember the actual name, but people from Manchester, Derbyshire, Wales, Ireland, people like that, mainly affected in North England, went over to have a big protest on St Peter's Field, and there was a good 60 to 80,000 protesters, men, women, children, old grandsons, you name them, mainly the poor, and they um, were there for a couple of, basically the whole day, and they were protesting outside the government's building, and now the government had to try and do something to suppress it, to stop it. Now what they did, just saying, there was a kind of a leading man doing the big rallying speeches with a guy called Henry Hunt, and he was a known politician slash what should I say, known very good at his speeches, known politician, Henry Hunt. Um, and so basically the government wanted to try and arrest him, but as they were arresting him, they massacred 15 civilians and injured or wounded 400 to 700 civilians. And in doing so, by doing that, they brought in the Manchester Yeomanries, the young lot. This was mainly cavalry. The 15th Hussars, a very high respected cavalry unit, the Hussars were, and then they brought in the 31st Regiment of Foot, which is the what was it now? If I remember correctly, what was it? The Huntingdonshire Regiment, and they came. There was a big, what I call a little mini battle, really. And the reason why it's called Peterloo is because, just say this did happen on Monday, 16th of August, 1819. And what happened is because the veterans coming home from the Battle of Waterloo, met with this disaster, and then in the papers the next day, because they had known about the battle at Waterloo, the newspaper writers had actually dubbed it the Peterloo Massacre, just like Waterloo, how that was a massacre of 51,000 on both sides, British and French. So yeah, the Peterloo Massacre, Monday the 16th of August, 1819, which was, 4 years after the 4 years after the Battle of Waterloo in 1815. So yeah, that is the Peterloo Massacre. I mean, there's a film actually which come out now, just called Peterloo. I can't remember. I don't know the actors, and it's quite a new film. I mean, it's a good film though. So yeah, the Peterloo Massacre, and the reason why I brought this little lead This is actually a French-led musket ball dating to around 1815, so the Battle of Waterloo, circa that time. Is because I don't actually have anything related in my collection to the Peterloo massacre. I'd love to, but as it was, talk about muskets being used, brown vests by the British and musketry going off, I just think of a French-led musket ball. That's all. So yeah, as I say, the Peterloo massacre, 400 to 700 civilians, protesters were injured. That was out of, well, the crowd was 60,000 to 80,000 men, women, children, and 15 were killed right out. So, thanks for watching, guys. See ya. Bye.